with measurements of over 200 meters, 656 feet, wide and 150 meters, 492 feet, high, as well as a length of 9 kilometers, 5.6 miles. Sun Dune Cave is the largest cave in the world. Before 2009, Malaysia's Deer Cave was regarded as the largest cave in the world, until a group of scientists from the British Cave Research Association explored and studied the Sun Dune Cave, finding it was in fact over twice the size of Deer Cave. Named by BBC News, the most beautiful cave on the globe, makes this one of the great natural wonders of Asia. It is a mountain river cave featuring a fast-flowing subterranean river. Sun Dune Cave is mostly comprised of limestone that has over time shaped into some of the tallest stalagmite formations in the world. Within Sun Dune Cave, visitors will find it is so big that it contains its own jungle and river, and has the capacity to be able to fit a 40-story skyscraper inside. The source of the river still remains unknown to this day, with future plans of the British Cave Research Association to return soon and attempt to solve the many mysteries this cave holds. After only 50-minute flying from Ho Chi Minh City, you will set foot on the tropical paradise of Vietnam and the world, Phu Quoc Island. The island has a roughly triangular shape with a north-south length of 50 km and a west-east width of 25 km. A great part of the terrain is filled with beautiful sandy beaches, but there is a mountainous region with 99 peaks, among which the peak of Chua Mountain is the tallest one at 603 meters. Due to Phu Quoc's location in the Gulf of Thailand, its climate is subequatorial with a temperate weather all year round, making trips to Phu Quoc possible any time in the year. However, the best time to travel to this island is during the dry season, from November until March, when the sky is blue and clear and the rains are away. Phu Quoc is most famous for its cuisines and a natural, wonderful coastline. The most famous food of Phu Quoc is fish sauce, which has become quite popular all over Vietnam and the world. Besides, another thing worth trying there is the spicy yet interesting black pepper. However, the factor that will definitely intrigue you to visit Phu Quoc is its untouched coastline featuring several heavenly beaches. They have yet to be explored to their full ability, but this fact might be actually positive, as it gives the shores a romantic beauty that you can find in nowhere else in the world. Ha Long Bay is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and popular travel destination in Quang Ninh Province, Vietnam. The bay features thousands of limestone casts and isles in various shapes and sizes. Ha Long Bay is a center of a larger zone which includes Bai Tu Long Bay to the northeast and Cat Ba Island to the southwest. Ha Long Bay has an area of around 1,553 km2, including 1,962,000 islets, most of which are limestone. The core of the bay has an area of 334 km2, with a high density of 775 islets. The limestone in this bay has gone through 500 million years of formation in different conditions and environments. The evolution of the karst in this bay has taken 20 million years under the impact of the tropical wet climate. The geodiversity of the environment in the area has created biodiversity, including a tropical evergreen biosystem, oceanic and seashore biosystem. Ha Long Bay is home to 14 endemic floral species and 60 endemic faunal species. Victoria Falls, situated on the Zambezi River between Zambia and Zimbabwe, is a breathtaking natural wonder that captivates with its awe-inspiring beauty. The falls boast a stunning curtain of cascading water that plummets into a deep gorge, creating a spectacular display of mist and rainbows. Victoria Falls is recognized as one of the 7 natural wonders of the world for its extraordinary natural beauty, geological significance, and cultural importance. The falls hold cultural significance for local communities, including the indigenous Tonga people. It is known as Mosio Atunya, meaning the smoke that thunders, reflecting the powerful impact and the mist created by the falls. Discovered by the explorer David Livingstone in 1855, Victoria Falls is one of the largest and most powerful waterfalls globally, spanning over 1,700 meters in width and reaching heights of up to 108 meters. The surrounding lush rainforest provides a vibrant backdrop to the roaring waters, offering a unique ecosystem filled with diverse flora and fauna. Visitors can experience the falls from various viewpoints, each unveiling a different facet of its grandeur. Victoria Falls is not merely a geographical marvel, it is a testament to the raw power and beauty of nature, drawing admirers from around the world to witness its majestic splendor. Almost all people like to spend their holidays traveling. They travel to see other countries and continents, modern cities and the ruins of ancient towns. They travel to enjoy picturesque places, or just for a change of scene. City dwellers usually like a quiet holiday by the sea or in the mountains, with nothing to do but walk and bathe and laze in the sun. Most people enjoy going abroad for their holidays and having the opportunity to stay in an interesting city. If you speak foreign languages, you can make new friends and get home some interesting souvenirs as presents. But before you can do that, you have to reach your destination, and that is often a problem. If you fly, then you may find that your flight has been delayed. Journeys by train can also be difficult, since trains are often crowded in summer, so you may have to reserve a seat in advance. Whichever way you travel, you can have problems with your luggage, and it is often difficult to find good accommodation. Apart from this, you might not be able to afford the fare. People travel all over the world and attend a lot of interesting places. The effect of traveling of large amount of people sometimes is incredible. Here are some examples of it. Large number of people coming to one place once at a time can have less comfortable accommodation, as it was in Scotland, where only 40% of tourists were offered hotels. Tourism is one of the principal contributions of pollution in the Mediterranean Sea, and as the number of people increase, the problem worsen. Several laws and initiatives have been implemented in order to protect the Mediterranean Sea from further degradation. The rapid tourism development of Bali has had a great effect on its natural environment, affecting water resources, increasing pollution and localized flooding, as well as putting pressure on the island's infrastructure. In Cancun, Mexico, tourism has extensively damaged the lagoon, obliterated sand dunes, led to the extinction of varying species of animals and fish, and destroyed the rainforest which surrounds the island. It was only 20 years after it was developed that the government of Mexico decided to limit projects along the coast to prevent further damage to the island's environment. In Trinidad and Tobago, there are shortages of water due to the overpopulation of tourists on the island. The most damaging effect of tourism has been the destruction of coral reefs, as they are harvested for sale to tourists and destroyed by tourists stepping on them as they enter the water. Make your reservations now. The space tourism industry is officially open for business, and tickets are going for a mere $20 million for a one-week stay in space. Despite reluctance from NASA, Russia made American businessman Denis Tito the world's first space tourist. Tito flew into space aboard a Russian Soyuz rocket that arrived at the International Space Station, ISS, on April 30, 2001. The second space tourist, South African businessman Mark Shuttleworth, took off aboard the Russian Soyuz on April 25, 2002, also bound for the ISS. Greg Olson, an American businessman, became tourist number 3 to the ISS on October 1, 2005. On September 18, 2006, Anousheh Ansari, a telecommunications entrepreneur, became the first female space tourist and the fourth space tourist overall. She was also the first person of Iranian descent to make it into space. Charles Simonyi, a software architect, became the fifth space tourist on April 7, 2007. These trips are the beginning of what could be a lucrative 21st century industry. There are already several space tourism companies planning to build suborbital vehicles and orbital cities within the next 2 decades. These companies have invested millions, believing that the space tourism industry is on the verge of taking off. Imagine a vacation in a place of amazing natural beauty. Picture yourself relaxing on a clean beach in Belize. Picture yourself exploring the desert on a camel in Dubai. Or picture yourself following lions and zebras in Kenya. Now imagine that you are enjoying these experiences and helping to preserve the environment. You are protecting wildlife and supporting local communities. Is this too good to be true? No, these vacations are part of a growing trend in the travel industry. The trend is called ecotourism. Ecotourism was not common before the 1990s. It is now a multi-billion-dollar industry. But what is ecotourism? These are some of its characteristics. It means travel to natural, often far-away places. These are often protected areas where development is limited. Ecotourism destinations focus on recycling, water conservation, and using renewable energy sources. It builds environmental awareness. Visitors explore an area and learn about it. It provides an economic reason to save the environment. It raises money to help protect it. It creates financial opportunities and jobs for the local people. Costa Rica was one of the first success stories. Costa Rica once had the highest rate of deforestation in Latin America. However, since ecotourism, there has been a major reduction in deforestation. Now, more than a quarter of Costa Rica's land is protected from development. Costa Rica is now the world's top ecotourism destination. This small country of 4 million people has about 1.5 million visitors per year. Ecotourism is very important to preserving the land in Costa Rica. This is true for other ecotourism sites around the world. Ecotourism provides visitors with a special vacation too. These vacations are unforgettable and educational. Ecotourism is basically a win-win situation. It is good for both the tourists and the countries they visit. The term English is derived from Anglisk, the speech of the Angles, one of the 3 Germanic tribes that invaded England during the 5th century. The English language is the primary language of several countries, including Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the United Kingdom and many of its former colonies, and the United States, and the second language in a number of multilingual countries, including India, Singapore and the Philippines. It's an official language in several African countries as well, such as Liberia, Nigeria and South Africa, but is spoken worldwide in more than 100. It's learned around the world by children in school as a foreign language, and often becomes a common denominator between people of different nationalities when they meet while traveling, doing business, or in other contexts. According to Christine Kenyally in her book The First Word, today there are about 6,000 languages in the world, and half of the world's population speaks only 10 of them. English is the single most dominant of these 10. British colonialism initiated the spread of English across the globe. It has been spoken nearly everywhere and has become even more prevalent since World War II, with the global reach of American power. Just as the United States has regional dialects, and there are differences in pronunciation and words in British and American English, the language has local varieties around the world. American, British, Canadian, Caribbean, York English, Hinglish, Indian, Irish, Nigerian, Scottish, Singaporean, Zimbabwean, etc. People often talk about English as a global language or lingua franca. With more than 350 million people around the world speaking English as a first language, and more than 430 million speaking it as a second language, there are English speakers in most countries around the world. Why is English so popular, though? And why has it become a global language? People often call English the international language of business, and it's increasingly true as international trade expands every year, bringing new countries into contact. Most multinational companies require a certain degree of English proficiency from potential employees, so in order to get a position with a top company, more and more people are learning English. If your ambitions lie in science or medicine, you can't neglect English either. Much of the technical terminology is based on English words, and if you want to learn about the latest developments and discoveries from around the world, you'll read about them in journals and research reports published in English, no matter whether the scientists who wrote them are from China or Norway. If you want a career in travel, English is absolutely essential. As the international language of aviation, pilots and cabin crew all need to speak English. Even if you're not up in the air, speaking English accurately will ensure you are able to communicate with clients and suppliers all over the world. So what's stopping you from learning this global language? With all the English resources available on the internet, and so many other English speakers around the world to practice with, there's never been a better time to start learning English. Pick up a book, learn a few words, or even start a course today, and take your first steps towards becoming one of nearly 800 million English speakers in the world. English is a global language spoken by a lot of people around the world. Approximately 1.5 billion people speak English as a native or as a second language. However, when it comes to understanding the difference between American English I and British English BE, it is not uncommon to find even native English speakers getting confused. One of the most evident differences between BE and I is in terms of vocabulary. In the UK, for example, they call it a flat, while in America it's an apartment. British go on holiday, while Americans go on vacation. Some of the other common words like trousers, lorry, university and chips come under BE, while for I they correspond to pants, truck, college and fries. Another significant difference is the spelling of certain words, such as colour in I instead of colour in BE. Verbs that are spelt with I's or ise in BE are always spelt as I's in I. For example, it is apologise or apologise in BE, but in I, it is always apologise. Aside from spelling and vocabulary, there are certain grammar differences between BE and I. For instance, in I, collective nouns are considered singular, e.g. the band is playing. In contrast, collective nouns can be either singular or plural in BE, although the plural form is most often used, e.g. the band are playing. The British are also more likely to use formal speech, such as shall, whereas Americans favour the more informal will or should. To sum up, the differences between British English and American English do not really make much of a difference when the English language is spoken. For average listeners, these can be easily understood based on context. However, when it comes to academic writing, it becomes very important to know what the difference between BE and I is. Learning a new language is always an excellent idea. It provides you incredible benefits that come with the backing of science. One of the most useful languages to learn is English. Learning a second language is one of the best ways to keep your brain active and challenged. Studies have shown that the brain undergoes changes in electrical activity and even structure and size while learning a foreign language that do not occur when learning any other type of task or skill. Learning another language offers important cognitive benefits at any age, helping to keep the mind active and even reducing the risk of mental disease and slowing mental decline later in life. When learning English as a second language, you approach new ways to think and express yourself through written and spoken words. Learning multiple languages can help you communicate more clearly in any language, as you learn more about how language itself works and how to use it to promote ideas and reach out to others in a variety of social and work situations. The world may not have a global language, but English is the default option for countless forms of communication across the globe. That's why one of the benefits of learning English is that it significantly boosts your hiring potential. In addition, it can offer you educational opportunities. If you desire access to some of the best schools like Harvard, Stanford, Oxford, Cambridge, or MIT, then knowing English provides you an incredible edge. It's expected that around 2 billion people around the world will learn English over the next decade. The Paracutin volcano is a remarkable natural wonder located in Mexico. It is considered one of the youngest volcanoes on Earth, as it suddenly emerged from a cornfield in 1943 and rapidly grew into a towering mountain. Paracutin is named after the nearby village where it appeared, located in the state of Michoacan, in central Mexico. The volcanic eruption that gave birth to Paracutin began on February 201,943. Over the following days, a small volcanic cone formed, and molten lava started to flow from the vent. The eruption continued for about 9 years. During its peak, Paracutin reached a height of approximately 410 meters above the surrounding landscape. Today, Paracutin is a dormant volcano, and its cone stands as a dramatic reminder of its explosive past. Visitors can explore the volcanic landscape, hike up the cone, and witness the remnants of the eruption. The area surrounding the volcano has become a protected natural reserve, known as the Paracutin Volcano National Park, safeguarding the unique geological and ecological features of the region. The education system of the 21st century has changed radically with the integration of the technology in every sector. At the same time, the students are more matured than the previous time. Now, in the 21st century, education depends on thinking skills, interpersonal skills, information media, technological skills as well as life skills. Especially, the education of the present time emphasizes life and career skills. Now there is no value for rote learning. In general, it needs to meet the industry need. To clarify, the teaching will be effective when a student can use the lesson outside of the classroom. For changing the globalizing world, the role of the teachers is essential to improve the sustainable education. At the same time, inspiring and guiding the students in increasing employability skills with the digital tools is the prerequisite for a teacher. Thus, a teacher in the 21st century will be a digital teacher. Teachers are not the facilitator for learning of the students only, and now they are responsible for training the students for increasing employability skills, expanding the mind, growing digital citizenship, critical thinking, and creativity, as well as sustainable learning. Thus, the winning of the students is the win of the teachers. With the passage of time and integration of technology in every sector, the teacher's role has changed a lot. They need to enrich some skills to develop their students. Otherwise, the students will not get the lesson, and it will increase the rate of educated unemployed in the digital era. Earth, our home planet, is the third planet from the Sun, and the fifth largest planet. It's the only place we know of inhabited by living things. While Earth is only the fifth largest planet in the solar system, it is the only world in our solar system with liquid water on the surface. Just slightly larger than nearby Venus, Earth is the biggest of the 4 planets closest to the Sun, all of which are made of rock and metal. Earth is the only planet in the solar system whose English name does not come from Greek or Roman mythology. The name was taken from Old English and Germanic. It simply means the ground. There are, of course, many names for our planet in the thousands of languages spoken by the people of the 3rd planet from the Sun. Earth has a very hospitable temperature and mix of chemicals that have made life abundant here. Most notably, Earth is unique in that most of our planet is covered in liquid water, since the temperature allows liquid water to exist for extended periods of time. Earth's vast oceans provided a convenient place for life to begin about 3.8 billion years ago. However, some of the features of our planet that make it great for sustaining life are changing due to the ongoing effects of climate change. Polar habitats cover the top and bottom of planet Earth at the North and South poles. The North Pole is surrounded by the Arctic Ocean. There isn't any land here, just a group of continually shifting ice sheets. Parts of Canada and Greenland are near the North Pole. The South Pole is located in Antarctica. This area has land, but it's completely covered with a layer of ice that's almost 3 miles thick. The polar regions have 2 seasons, summer and winter. In the summer, the sun shines 24 hours a day, but it never gets high enough above the horizon to warm things up, so even summers are pretty cold. It's dark all winter because the sun doesn't rise during those months of the year. Fierce continuous winds make it feel even colder. It's much too cold and dry for trees to grow in most areas of the Arctic, and there is no room for their roots, because just under the surface of the ground, there is always a layer of ice, called permafrost. You won't find trees in Antarctica, but some types of small shrubs, lichens, mosses, and algae are able to grow in the harsh climate. Polar bears and Arctic foxes are adapted to the extreme weather of the Arctic region. Walruses and humpback whales live in the Arctic Ocean. Several kinds of penguins, including the emperor penguin, live in Antarctica, and so do walruses and narwhals. There are possibly billions of different species of plants, animals, bacteria, and other living things throughout the world, but we've only documented about 2 million of them. Many of these known and unknown species have uncertain futures, though. Climate change, pollution, poaching, and habitat destruction change the number of plant and animal species which live in a habitat, known as declining biodiversity. Due in part to declining biodiversity, almost 1/3 of Earth's animals are at risk of extinction, according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature. By preventing the decline of biodiversity, you can help keep Earth safe. Some animals, such as sharks, are especially important to protect. Scientists call these animals keystone species because they're the key to keeping whole ecosystems healthy. So if you save animals like sharks, you protect other critters. 100 years ago, jaguars ranged from the southwestern United States to Argentina in South America. Today their territory has shrunk by more than half, and they live mostly in the Amazon rainforest. And jaguars aren't the only animals losing their homes. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, habitat loss is the main threat to about 85% of all endangered plant and animal species. Tropical rainforests cover only about 7% of Earth's land, but they're home to an estimated half of all known plant and animal species. Most experts agree that about 80,000 acres disappear every day when trees are cut down for lumber and land is cleared for farms. Trees also play an important role in absorbing the carbon dioxide that contributes to climate change. Fewer forests means that more greenhouse gases remain trapped in the atmosphere. Grasslands, underwater habitats, and wetlands are also at risk of habitat loss. For instance, the World Wildlife Fund estimates that about half of the world's wetlands have disappeared in the last 100 years due to being drained for farmland or other industries. That means less space for animals to feed, breed, and raise their young. Finding a balance between what humans and animals need will help prevent habitat destruction. Some scientists think that if we put aside half of Earth's land and water for nature, we could save up to 90% of all species. In the meantime, your everyday actions can build a better planet. Cat cameras, also known as pet cameras, have become increasingly popular among pet owners, offering a unique way to monitor and interact with your fur Barbies when you are away from home. Beyond convenience, These devices provide significant benefits for your cat's mental health and keep them safe and happy at home. Cat cameras alleviate separation anxiety and feelings of loneliness that cats may experience when they are home alone. By watching your cat through the pet camera and speaking to them with two-way audio, you can provide reassurance and a sense of companionship. This constant connection helps them feel less anxious and more secure, enhancing their mental well-being. Cat cameras may also offer an added layer of home security, ensuring your cat's safety and well-being. With motion detection and real-time alert features, you receive notifications when there is unusual activity in your home. This not only protects your furry friend, but also provides peace of mind, knowing that you can keep a watchful eye on your cat and your living space, even when you're away. With millions of jobs set to be replaced by changes in technology, we may not be able to stop the rise of robots and automation. The robots are coming. We can see the enormous strides that technology makes each year and the jobs taken over by automation. Yes, believe it or not, there really are robots performing surgeries on humans. Robot-assisted surgery can give surgeons more precise control over their instruments and an improved view of what they are doing. Computer systems are becoming incredibly good at performing multifaceted tasks. Take autonomous cars, which can be classified as robotic vehicles. Driving would fit all the criteria for a complicated task that only humans should be able to perform, yet we have autonomous cars increasingly racking up the miles collision-free. In the game-playing arena, we are seeing machines beat the previously unbeatable professional players and generally encroaching on skills that once belonged to humans alone. All these technologies eventually can be integrated into robots. Are we close to the tipping point where humans become redundant in many sectors? According to a recent survey, 4 million jobs in the British private sector could be replaced by robots in the next decade. That would impact on 15% of the current workforce and would have much the same impact in Ireland. Of course, new opportunities will come along, particularly ones which require strong cognitive and social skills, but this really means that people will have to become more human. A smart refrigerator combines advanced technologies and internet connectivity to the basic functions of a fridge. It does more than just keep your food fresh. It also includes many innovative features to make home and kitchen life easier and more efficient. One key functionality that smart refrigerators have is monitoring your food supply. Imagine waking up in the morning and receiving a notification that you're running low on milk. Then, you open the smart fridge app and add milk to your shopping list or have it delivered later that day. Smart refrigerators can also learn your preferences and habits over time. By analyzing the data it collects, such as the types of food you frequently store and consume, your smart refrigerator can assemble custom-made shopping recommendations or even suggest recipes based on the ingredients you have on hand. You can leave digital notes for your family members, display your calendar, or even stream music while you're in the kitchen using its touchscreen display. Your fridge becomes a central communication and organization point, so everyone can stay connected and on top of daily tasks. The use of digital devices such as tablets and laptops has revolutionized the way students learn in the 21st century. These devices have become an integral part of the modern classroom, replacing traditional paper-based materials and changing the way teachers deliver their lessons. They offer several benefits for both teachers and students. Firstly, digital devices are highly portable, allowing students to take their learning materials with them wherever they go. This is particularly useful for students who have to travel long distances to attend school or for those who need to study on the go. Digital devices also offer a wealth of interactive resources that are not available in traditional textbooks. Videos, animations, and simulations can be used to help students understand complex concepts, while quizzes and games can be used to reinforce learning and make it more engaging. Another significant advantage of digital devices is the ability to access a vast range of online resources. Students can access educational websites, ebooks, and online courses from anywhere in the world, providing them with a more comprehensive and up-to-date understanding of the subject matter. Teachers can also use digital devices to connect with other educators around the world, sharing resources and collaborating on lesson plans. While they offer students access to a wealth of interactive resources and educational materials, there is also the potential for distractions and technical problems. With the right approach, digital devices can be a valuable tool for modern learners, providing them with the skills and knowledge they need to succeed in the digital age. It is very important for everybody to make the right choice of profession, and it is no wonder because there are a lot of honorable professions at your disposal to obtain. For example, the profession of a teacher, a doctor, a computer operator, an engineer, a journalist, etc. It is difficult for the young people to give a definite answer. There are lots of people who take decisions about their professions and their career very easily. It is a matter of fact that only few of them become successful in their careers and their lives. Most of such people don't gain much success in their professions and their careers. The next point is that there is a big difference between job and career. Job is just a place to work in and to earn your living, while career involves planning out the journey, picking up the necessary skills along the way to be successful, and purposely deciding what your interests, skills, and work values are. Some people never pick a career. They continue drifting from job to job without considering where the drifting will lead. Teens may change their career interests or goals over time, but a well-chosen career usually leads to more advanced and challenging opportunities. And let's face it, you're likely to be working most of your life, so why not enjoy what you're doing? Finally, try to choose your career carefully, and then you will be happy and successful in your future life. Choosing a career is an important life decision, yet many people settle on one based on the opinions of friends and family. It's very difficult to find something you really enjoy doing, but scientists have devised tests to help people come closer to finding their dream job. Take a look at the 6 personality types below and see which jobs might be right for you. Most people are a combination of 2 or 3 types. Realistic. Realistic people like to work with things they can see or touch. They are inclined to solve problems by doing them, rather than thinking or talking about them. They generally like to work outside and are good with tools, machines, plants, and animals. Job matches: carpenter, chef, nurse, pilot. Investigative. People of this personality type value ideas and are strong at tasks that allow them to investigate facts and figure out complex problems. They are better at individual work like research and study, rather than leading groups of people or working in teams. Job matches: computer programmer, historian, psychologist, surgeon. Artistic. Artists are creative people. They don't work well with structure and rules, and thrive instead in environments that allow communication and a free flow of ideas. They enjoy tasks that allow them to express themselves and mix with people. Job matches: actor, art therapist, graphic designer, writer. Social. Social personalities love to work with people. They get the most satisfaction out of teaching and helping others, and are driven to serve the community as opposed to making money. Job matches: coach, counselor, social worker, teacher. Enterprising. Many great leaders and business people have enterprising personalities. These are persuasive people who are good at making decisions and leading teams. They tend to value money, power, and status, and will work toward achieving them. Job matches: business owner, event manager, lawyer, salesperson. Conventional. Conventional people appreciate rules and regulations and like having structure to their lives. They are logical thinkers and have a lot of self-control, making them the perfect people to work with data and details. Job matches: accountant, analyst, editor, librarian. Nowadays, anyone can take a Holland Code personality test online to find what jobs might be right for them. Why not try it today? There are as many kinds of careers as there are people. The kind of career you have can affect your life in many ways. For example, it can determine where you live and the friends you make. It can reflect how much education you have and can determine the amount of money you earn. Your career can also affect the way you feel about yourself and the way other people act toward you. To make wise career decisions and plans, you need as much information as possible. The more you know about yourself and career opportunities, the better chance you will have to choose a satisfying career. Before you begin to explore career fields, you should determine your values, your interests, and your aptitudes. Each person has many values which vary in strength. For example, money is the strongest value for some people, that is, wealth is more important to them than anything else. As a result, they focus their thoughts, behavior, and emotions on the goal of earning a high income. Other values include devotion to religion, taking risks, spending time with family, and helping others. You can develop an understanding of your values by asking yourself what is most important to you and by examining your beliefs. Young people in school today will be joining the workforce tomorrow, but are they being prepared for success in the 21st century work environment? When asked if students are missing skills for the workforce, we heard a resounding yes. Students today learn academic core subjects which are useful, but they aren't gaining all the knowledge they need to seamlessly integrate into the office environment. For instance, not all students have the right computer skills. As technology has become pervasive in the classroom and the workplace, solid technology skills are essential for every student. Teaching digital literacy skills ultimately falls upon educators. Schools need to go beyond the 3R to improve college and career readiness with technical skills, said Ray Kelly, CEO, Certiport, a certification testing company. Beyond that, students need to be ready to meet specific employer needs. Too often, high school students do not demonstrate workplace habits that employers prioritize, including reliability, punctuality, customer service, and high-quality task completion, said Andrew Rothstein, Chief Academic Officer of the National Academy Foundation. There are also frequent issues with written and presentation skills that are appropriate in a business context. Teamwork and problem-solving are the new constants. Indeed, teamwork is a very important and often absent skill among students entering the workforce. Students need to learn how to work well with others, cooperative learning, working in groups. Students need to be able to think out of the box and be creative. They need to find different ways to offer solutions, said Marilyn Curtin Phillips, a high school math teacher and college professor. Every living thing has a particular place in which it lives, and we call this place its habitat. A good habitat provides everything a species needs to survive. It provides food and shelter, places for breeding or laying eggs, the right kind of climate, and so on. Every particular type of species needs a particular type of natural habitat. For some species it could be deep in a forest, while for others it could be deep in the ocean. No matter what type of habitat a species needs, it will have to share it with other species who have adapted to the same kind of natural environment. When many species share a particular habitat, some species will be food for other species, which in turn might be food for others even higher up the food chain. Food chains are just one of many relationship networks within a habitat that together form what we call an ecosystem. As such, every species becomes part of an ecosystem within its particular habitat. Lions, for example, live in habitats across the grasslands of Central Africa. They are apex predators, which means they are at the top of the food chain in their ecosystem. The food chains that lions are part of include various grasses and other plants eaten by the animals that lions eat, such as zebras, buffaloes, and giraffes. If you think of the jobs that robots could never do, you probably put doctors and teachers at the top of the list. However, in some cases robots already perform better than doctors at diagnosing illness. Also, some patients might feel more comfortable sharing personal information with a machine than with a person. Could there be a place for robots in education after all? British education expert Anthony Selden thinks so. He predicts by 2027, robots will do the main job of transferring information and teachers will be like assistants. Intelligent robots will read students' faces, movements, and maybe even brain signals. Then they will adapt the information to each student. It's not a popular opinion, and it's unlikely robots will ever have empathy and the ability to really connect with humans like another human can. Teachers all over the world are leaving because it is a difficult job and they feel overworked. Perhaps the question is not, will robots replace teachers, but how can robots help teachers? Office workers can use software to do things like organize and answer emails, arrange meetings, and update calendars. Teachers waste a lot of time doing non-teaching work, including more than 11 hours a week marking homework. If robots could cut the time teachers spend marking homework and writing reports, teachers would have more time and energy for the parts of the job humans do best.